Some leaf eaters, like this piping guan, limit the amount of poison they eat by selecting young leaves, which aren't as toxic as older ones. But they're still dangerous, so the guan deploys another countermeasure. It eats mud. The mud seems to hold a strange attraction for all sorts of other animals, like spider monkeys. These are animals of the high canopy, so why risk coming down to the ground? Only after the most careful check do they take the plunge. Up in the trees, spider monkeys are in their element and have few natural predators, but down here they're vulnerable. As the largest of all South American monkeys, they'd be a good meal for a jaguar, and catching one on the ground would be its best chance of a kill. Something in the mud must be absolutely vital for them to take such a risk. One of the group is always on the lookout. The slightest hint of danger sends the monkeys back into the trees. But the new arrival is only a brocket deer, here for the same thing. When they can, these timid little deer eat fruit. When it's scarce, they have to make do with leaves and fungi, all potentially poisonous. Like the monkeys, it's risking its life to come here. Its back still carries the scar of an attack by a big cat. For all kinds of animal, a visit to a clay lick is a regular part of their routine. But it has to be just the right kind of clay. Good licks are few and far between. Like waterholes on the African savanna, they're a focus of activity. But you can never drop your guard. When the sun comes out, the lick becomes even more dangerous. Predators are harder to spot. Monkeys rely on their good eyesight to warn them of danger. When it's overcast, there's no problem, but tropical sun casts deep shadows. And they find it hard to cope with the contrast. Does that twitching leaf hide a stealthy jaguar? Is there a puma in that shadow? Coming to a clay lick is obviously very risky, but so many animals do it. There must be a good reason. People used to think that animals ate soil just to obtain salt. But some of these licks are no richer in salt than their natural diet, so that's only part of the story. Recent research shows that some kinds of clay neutralize many of the poisons plants use to defend themselves, either by combining with them chemically or by lining the gut with a protective coating. That's why animals risk their lives to come here. The alternatives are death by poisoning or starvation. Without clay to counteract the toxins, much of what grows in the forest would be simply impossible to eat. But why they should eat such a bellyful in one go is still unknown. Every rustle in the undergrowth sends the monkeys running for safety. But it's just a herd of white-lipped peccaries. Peccaries are social animals, using scent glands to communicate and keep the group together. Their collective stench is overpowering. Peccaries eat a varied diet of roots, bulbs, fallen fruit and seeds. That reduces the risk of overdosing on any one poison, but it could still be a lethal cocktail. They seem to be seeking out just the right pieces of mud, but how they choose, nobody knows. We're only just beginning to understand the full story behind this extraordinary behavior. As soon as it begins to rain, all the animals depart. Only the smell of the peccaries lingers. The lick is now even more dangerous. The roaring of raindrops on leaves would drown the sound of an approaching hunter.